All right. So, I'll discuss some of my poetry. I guess just this account. I don't know if I'm going to go into the any of the old content. Let's get some music going. Some Mozart. Now, whenever I play classical, I have to see, like, was it uploaded a long time ago? Because I don't want, like, an AI produced version of it. This was 13 years ago. It was the best of Mozart. Oh, I know this one. Eine kleine Nachtmusik. A little night music. Okay. So, first off, we have pinned to the top of the page a picture of an old character that I did. Druid at Bard O spelled EAUX. So it's like Druid, but also like Drew, like draw. The simple past, I think, of draw, and id, which is a Freudian concept. At bard underscore like a bard, like a singer of songs, like the Celts had bards, which were kind of they still have bards, but they're kind of I don't want to say degenerated, but they're a later version of a druid. And above the picture is a bunch of seals. So there's and that's a joke. That's an inside joke. So there's what the fuck? I can't read it. I think it's a bical seal, a spotted seal, a harp seal. So it's bical seal, spotted seal, harp seal, ringed seal, harbor seal, Weddell seal, ribbon seal, leopard seal, gray seal, Hawaiian monk seal, bearded seal, elephant seal. What the fuck's that one say? It's like I gotta zoom in. Crabeater seal, hooded seal. And then it's other stuff that's Druid said. This is a battle between characters. Performance later. Okay. And then we get to the stuff from Troll. At this account is the at is Troll 475570. Now it's interesting to think. Is this Troll with a small t talking to Troll capital T 475570? This is what he's saying. And he starts off right, which is at the end. He starts off with, "There is nothing left to say," and on the side of it, the letters. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say this. This is 6-word form, and I invented 6-word form. I don't give a shit who says what. I invented writing in 6 words. I was the first one to do it, and particularly the style, but just in general, I invented it. Also, there's no real punctuation in 6-word style, so it's like, what, 2x3 or is it 3x2? Do rows come first or columns? I don't know. But anyway, it goes, "There is nothing left to say." TNT, okay? Down the side. TNT. There is nothing left to say. Okay? I'll give you a little inside baseball here. Sometimes those things seem to have some meaning. Other times I just saw that it could, it looked good. So anyway, few people worth proving myself to. Now I'm talking shit. There's nothing left to say. Few people worth proving myself to. It's the ones you let pass. It's true. Because some of my my grade 6-word forms, I don't I don't post them. They're too good. You know what I mean? It's the ones you let pass. Is that true generally of editing? I don't know. Label your experience if you please. So everything's experience. There's stuff happening all the time. And you could label it. You know, I'm looking at a computer. I'm talking to a phone. Does that help anything? I don't know. It will exhaust both of us. I don't know what I mean by that. The next one is Nietzsche never. This is the thing about 6-word form and the long form. Okay, much like Homer, the great Homer, who wrote in dactylic hexameter, which is like, I think it's like ba 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 ba. You know, it's like 6 times or whatever. So it's like short, long. Da 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 da. I don't know. I don't want to count 6 of them. So it's much like Homer. Sometimes you gotta break form, and then it's like, oh shit, right? And it's like with Mozart here. Okay, listen to Mozart a bit. Now Mozart was revolutionary. He doesn't sound like it to a lot of people nowadays, but he was revolutionary. People were used to a certain form, like Haydn and that, and Bach probably. I think Bach was actually rediscovered. His stuff was being used to wrap meat at a butcher shop or something, like some of his old sheet music. At least it's a story I've heard, and I think it's true. There's another story about him where he walked like, I don't know, I think hundreds of kilometers or something to play some organ or some shit, and he beat a guy in a duel or something. He's a bad motherfucker. See, Mozart, though it sounds like it's all classical music, it's not all classical music. He changed a lot of things. Like Beethoven changed a lot of things. You listen to Beethoven, you listen to Mozart, you're like, oh, it sounds the same. You don't have an ear for it. But people did, not to insult the person listening, but most people don't. And like, I listen to it and I go, well, I don't know it. I don't know the forms, the changes and stuff, and the pieces, the different sections of the classical piece, such that it's such a revolutionary experience to me. There's been much dissonance, much change to music, popular music. So people, they shrug at it. It doesn't have the impact. One could argue. Well, maybe that's just the wishes of musical historians, if that's the case. But that's the thing I was taught. Anyway, I break the 6-word form and I go, Nietzsche never learned to write what he saw. Okay? Then what is that? Is that labeling your experience? It will exhaust both of us. And then I do a performance here. There's a performance on the thing. I am doing a performance, but there's a performance in the scroll. I'm not sure the nature of it. I like to talk over music. Okay, and then after that it goes into, at least I developed a style. I'm kind of talking shit there, because I see some people, and I go, they don't even have their own fucking style. And I do. It's 6 words. I don't think thinking gets done. That's like a meditation joke. It's like saying the emptiness of the I, the emptiness of the essential self. Thinking occurs. So, what do you do with that? I don't know. It may loosen your attachment to your thoughts. Maybe. Then again, it's just some guy throwing 6 words out there. Am I attached to my thoughts? Enough to want to say them, I guess, on recording. Okay, next one. The projection, this is a long one. The projection of an autonomous ego. This is also kind of meditation shit, or like investigations of the self, the emptiness of the self, the way people use words. The projection of an autonomous ego follows from the belief in one's own autonomous ego. No, I don't know that. Maybe people project an alternative, someone else's ego before they conceive of their own. That seems unlikely, but that could be the case. I'm stating it, though, as an absolute fact. Fuck you, this is true. That kind of thing. Fuck you, man. This is written on 4/20. Was I stoned at the time? I don't think so. I think it was earlier on in the day. I smoked a bit of a joint, and I was just like, oh, it's too harsh. Didn't like it. The next one. Weird languages have developed on X. And down the side it says WHO. Like who? Or maybe World Health Organization. But what am I referencing here? Also, I wrote the weird with a long I instead of writing WEIRD. What does that mean? What am I alluding to? What am I alluding to? Nothing. Next one. All of our conversations are private. Again, that sounds true. Like it's just between us. Hey, it's just between you and me, all right? You know? I mean, certainly you're interpreting them in your own mind. You're getting what you get out of it. You're reacting, probably. Or you're just sitting there going, oh, those fucking sounds and shit. Like you don't speak the language or something. You're like, oh, what's up? Boop. And isn't that blissful? Next one. Pretty much up to no good. No is all caps. That's an inside joke. And down the side says pun. I don't know what the pun is there. I couldn't define a pun. Or irony. I can't define... That's an old joke to me. It's ironic that I can't really define irony. Alright, next one. A great surge of energy occurring. That's always true. Relative to what, though? If everything's energy, is there ever a great surge of energy? Isn't that like a sort of... Well, it's like relatively speaking. If you get a bunch of energy, it seems like a lot of energy. Relative to the previous moment, in retrospect, then even the appearance of a surge is nothing more than a memory. One could say... Next one. Too petty, not poetic. I don't know. I think I was referring to another account I had where I was just bitching at people. Like in the most eloquent, deeply psychological, like profound way. But to me it was petty. And I just got rid of the fucking account. It's like, fuck it. To other people, genius. Absolute genius. And I was like, meh, fuck it. I don't give a shit. Next one. Is that a flex? You're fucking right it is. Next one. As an artist, it's a flex. Next one. I am a weapon of war. Ooh, shit. What's that referring to? A lot of things I'm referring to there. A lot of things. And so I thought it was clever. It's not my best. Next one. The grackles have descended. That's referring to the fact there's a bunch of grackles on my lawn. They were looking for food. It sounds dramatic, though. It's like the birds. The grackles have descended. They had cool, shiny blue heads. Next one. Stop talking, look at your thoughts. Now that's kind of rude. Especially if you say it to someone while they're talking. Stop talking, look at your thoughts. You know. And down the side says, sly. Maybe I'm just telling him to shut up because I want to keep talking. That'd be sly, wouldn't it? Stop talking. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Look at your thoughts. Now I'm going to talk. All right, next one. Pacing. That's it. It's just pacing. Which I thought meant multiple things. But also I was like writing and getting worked up to do a performance. And I was kind of like pacing around like, oh, like fucking, I'm going to, such a good performance. I think I just decided not to. I think it was enough just to write the word pacing. Next one. I am fucking sick of ads. I am. I'm pretty sick of ads. It's just constant nowadays. Like everything I see, there's just so many fucking ads. And no one pays attention to them. So it's like, it's just a waste of time. So it's a good thing. If it's like that, you just don't pay attention to them. Never buy anything you see in an ad. Just so you'll never buy anything you see in an ad. Period. That's it. And so like it'll actually limit. It's kind of a creative way to go about things. Like, oh, you know, the one thing I know I'm not going to do is buy anything that's advertised to me. Fuck it. I don't care if it's it's the best thing to get. I don't give a shit. Don't fucking advertise to me ever. The next thing is kind of it was a bit particular to the moment. Enjoy this is, don't take this offensively, please. Enjoying the sound of rain, and the lady next door won't stop talking loudly to her husband. There needs to be more strict bylaws about noise. I wonder why he went out to the garage in the first place. It was annoying. I was trying to listen to the rain, basically. I was meditating, kind of listening to the rain. Was I trying to listen to the rain? No, but that was what I was hearing. And it was far more pleasant than their stupid conversation. So I preferred that. And I memorialized it in a little poem about how men like to go outside and work on shit and do yard work so they don't have to listen to their wives. Okay, anyway, next thing. It is not worth explaining anymore. That's true. Every guy who hears this knows what I'm talking about. So why would that be? Also, I'm reading this in reverse. So, because I wrote it, obviously, you scroll down on the... Actually, I could read it the other way. Maybe I will sometime. Okay, it is not worth explaining anymore. The next one. This is a path of meditation. And I like this because down the side it says Tao, like T-A-O, or Tao, however you pronounce it. And it would be, because it would be no aspirated T, so it'd be Tao or something like that. Tao, some shit like that. And I like it when I get the ones where it says that. Because it can mean anything. It can mean fucking anything, so it's like perfect. Alright, next thing. Studied many philosophies I don't understand, and I have. I really have. And I don't really understand them. I understand them enough to point out how full of shit academics are. I understand them that much, which really, beyond that point, what would you understand about it? What would you understand about idealism? Or, I was going to go to the three general ones, but metaphysics, epistemology, and ethics. What is, how do you know, what do you do? There you go. There's your philosophy. What is, how do you know, what do you do? Okay, what is, this is, how do you know? Well, here it is. What do you do? Well, you be there. There you go, philosophy. Done. Should we get another beer? How many left do I have? It feels like another beer. Doesn't it feel like another beer? That one was Sapporo. I think I have 2 beers in the fridge. And I think I'm going to go with Asahi. I like Asahi. Some artists find alcohol inspiring or loosening. Some artists. You know by doing. Don't expect it though. Alcohol isn't obligated to make you eloquent or insightful. It's not, don't put that on the alcohol. There's a lot of debate. Actually, I don't know if there is a lot of debate. Most people say you should pour a beer on the side of the glass so you don't get a lot of foam, a lot of head. But I pour it straight, and it releases the the CO2. Because I saw a thing where a guy who did this for a living said that's how you do it. And no matter how many waitresses and, amateurs think that it's supposed to be on the side of the glass, I listen to the person who fucking does it for a living, And then I check it through practice, and then I learn, and I have experience. Does that mean people take me as seriously as that guy? No. Just means I'm right. Okay, anyway. Next one. So after studied many philosophies I don't understand, I have, it's not true, it's well said. Okay, true is in quotations. It's not true, it's well said. And that's really my skill set. Does that mean it's untrue? You be the judge. Okay. Switching it up, resting in sound. So I was doing that meditation, resting in sound, which I first got Mingyur Rinpoche. Listened to like a bell or like a Himalayan, one of those, what's called a Tibetan singing bowl. Apparently it was not traditionally their thing, but, they had bells. And you ring it, and then you follow the sound into kind of emptiness. And then you're kind of listening to the sounds, you listen to your thoughts. You're in a sort of receptive state. You're just listening. So it's kind of, I guess you could say not non-reactive, but less reactive. That is with intention, and you could say it's an intention to focus on a receptivity. Is that better or worse than an activity? I mean, what system are you going to use to judge that? What set of values? Your own, probably. The ones you picked, the ones you borrowed, the ones you learned from experience. Is it effective in all contexts? Depends what you're doing or not doing, probably, I would say. Does it have long-term benefits? I don't know. Check the statistics. Ask a professional. That's what I did at the time. Okay, next one. I can't control interpretations. So that's a four-worder. There's a few four-worders in here. And down the side it says, I see. Okay. Can I control, who would control my interpretations? Like, I could certainly control the interpretations I express, theoretically. But then that would have to do with my own capacity to discipline my own form of expression. Which, how would I control that? Would I plan for some future occurrence by, deliberately attempting to limit my amount of interpretations? Or prefer some interpretations over another? Then you're just asking for more intention. So I had this good one. Fleeting attention to attention. Fleeting attention to a tension. That's pretty good. That's the thing that occurs. Is it true? I don't know. It's well said. Well formed. And if you kind of fudge the way you write it horizontally, you can say fat. Anyway. Okay. Next one. Faith. Apostrophe. So faith? No idea what that is. It's true. I don't know what that is. What's faith? Now I've engaged with many belief systems. And, if you're in it, it's real. And someone looking outside can go, well, fuck, that's not real. You go, well, yeah, you're within a different system. You're within a different framework. You're narrativizing the world differently. You're labeling things differently. And that's not just, words. It's like deep in your system, right? How you're reacting to things. If you think some word matters or doesn't, that's deep in your system. Someone says a word that you don't like, you react. Someone else goes, well, that word just passes through me. I don't even speak that fucking language. But also maybe if you're open, you can kind of see or feel that, or you think you can. Now, can you know someone else's subjective experience? You can only know through like a connective language, and that's postulated. You can nod from across the room and go, "Yeah, I get it. You get it. I get it. You get it. Yeah, we both get it. Do we know we got it? How do we know we got it?" Okay, next one. Not joking around anymore. The other side of that says that's a four-worder, obviously. Not joking around anymore. Now that could be as NA. So that could be like North America. I'm in Canada. But it could also be not applicable. So, you know. Next one. I don't think you have potential. No, I don't think you have potential. I don't think you have potential. That's a two-liner, six-worder. Okay? IY. Next one. Rare breed. I take things seriously. A little bit of internal rhyme there. Rare breed. I take things seriously. People, you know, I'm gonna get off. I don't want to get off on a rant here, but people take everything like everyone's so sarcastic nowadays, or smarmy, or glib. There's almost a certain price. Like, I take this shit seriously, you know, and even if it's just to fucking shut them down and be like, "Oh yeah, you're joking about this shit? Well, I take this shit seriously." Now you got a guy who's taking shit seriously about something you're fucking joking about. What are you gonna do about that? And then they have to at least take you seriously. Okay, next one. Show me your art before sharing your opinion. You know, if someone can't fucking write, can't express themselves, has no creative, no deep expression, I'm like, what the fuck do I care what they think about anything? No, I want them to be happy, so that they don't annoy me, mostly. But you know, like, so many people share so much shit nowadays, and they write a book when, you know, they really shouldn't be, and you know, they didn't spend any time to develop their art. Like, you know, you're playing your instrument on fucking YouTube. Did you practice your scales? Did you practice your piece? Did you practice improvising? The fuck are you sharing it? Get good. And that comes from reps. And, you know, some people they're so impressed with the first poem they write that they think they should fucking publish it. And do you have the will to get rid of the first 1,000? You know, before you even, like, you know, otherwise you got all this shit as your fucking early work. Wittgenstein wrote a book, and it was brilliant, called the Logico Tractatus Philosophicus, or the Logico Philosophicus Tractatus. I can't remember which way it is. It doesn't matter, it's Latin. But I think it's, yeah, it might even be Tractatus Logico, I don't know. Okay, but anyway, I read it years ago. So, but then, and people just thought, this guy's a fucking genius, holy shit. And they got him to come speak, the Vienna Circle, I believe it was. And he went in and read poetry, and they weren't very happy about it. And he, like, later on, thought his work was stupid. I don't know if he thought it was stupid. He probably thought it was stupid. But he rejected it, and he wrote, like, philosophical investigations or something. And he had to go back. He wrote this thing. He thought he'd completed philosophy, and he had. He'd climbed the mountain. He didn't realize it was a job. Not only a job, but it certainly was a job. And he had to go back and do it. And for a living. After he became a great architect, and he designed shit, and he was a teacher for a while. And then he circled back and was like, well, you know, I guess I talk about language. Anyway, next thing. No more looking back. Good luck with that, Orpheus. Okay, next one. Just a bunch of... Now, this is... I'm getting it spicy here, but I'm going to go through it, so... Just a bunch of competing spells. Now, that can mean a lot of different things. It can mean a lot of different things. And you decide for yourself. Okay, next one. 'Tis a theory, an uncompelling theory. This is the funny thing about spells, though. There's so many nowadays, it's like sort of irrelevant. It's like if people today are trying to do propaganda, there's so much competing propaganda. It changes so quickly. People have such shitty memory and attention spans. They have no idea. You can't even program people. You can't. There's just too much shit conflicting and being undermined all the time. People think they're getting to like an awakening or something. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. Good luck. Or it's coming to a point. It's coming to a singularity. It's coming to an eschaton. Whatever. I mean, I'm sure it looks really obviously true within its system. I'm sure it does. And you just must think everybody who doesn't think that is so stupid. They're not getting it. They need to understand your system, and then they'd get it. Oh my, yeah, okay, whatever. Jerk off, right? Like fucking whatever. Just a bunch of competing spells. Next one. 'Tis a theory, an uncompelling theory. 'Tis a theory, an uncompelling theory. Am I talking about my theory? What theory? Okay. Next one. I'll publish when the stars align. Unfortunately, I've no memory for astrology. I don't need one. Next one. But their band lost their musician. That's me shit-talking people who lost their musician. Almost choked on that word. But their band lost their musicians. No one to keep rhythm. No one to play solo. Oh, no. Unadorned. The next one, okay? That's the thing, man. People don't appreciate, it's like you don't appreciate it. Led Zeppelin definitely appreciated John Paul Jones. Absolutely. One who passed, of course, was the great John Bonham. But John Paul Jones did work. Garth Hudson and the band did work, man. And he's not out front. He's not showy. But, you gotta appreciate your musicians. At the very least, the people in the band gotta appreciate their musicians. Otherwise, they just go, okay, right. Go fucking tank then. Go tank. Go have everyone say, wow, it was so much better when that person was there. Yeah. Listen to that shit the rest of your life. Phil Collins did all right. Solidity is the prediction of a momentary experience. And that's one example. Okay? Paul Simon didn't need Art Garfunkel. All right, solidity is the prediction of a momentary experience. Okay? Now, this is getting to deep stuff here. Or maybe not even deep stuff. The dropping. Solidity is the prediction of a momentary experience. So, for instance, you call something solid, but what? It's from what? Touching it? It's from, like, looking at it and you're abstracting out that it's solid. So from the experience, from the perspective, of the subject, it's the prediction of a momentary experience. And its immediacy, there's a certain, this table is smooth, but also, I think I need to clean it a bit. My interaction with it is showing its solidity. Right? It looks like light, but the second I engage with it, it's pretty solid. And I can assume solidity for the rest of the table, but, that's off a minimal interaction. Maybe the rest of the table is just light. Maybe, anyway. Stoner shit. I don't think I was high when I wrote it. I wasn't, but it was I guess it was a good, I don't want to say meditation. Meditation isn't necessarily just sitting on the cushion, right? Cross-legged and counting your breaths or whatever. No, it can sharpen your mind. Try it for a day. Don't blame me for any negative consequences or perceived negative consequences. Same thing if you do a lot of Vipassana. Don't blame me for that. Okay. This is my own experience, and I have practice. I have a lot of practice in life, going through things and then being fine afterward, and that'll mean that I probably have more courage to engage in difficult circumstances than, let's say, the average person does. The average person can't even listen to their own fucking thoughts. They need distraction all the time. And for me, it's like it's not being addicted to meditation is more of an issue. So anyway, next one. You can take that how you like. All right, feeling every muscle as I move. So as I was, I was kind of doing movement and noticing my mind somewhat drifting, but also being into the body, and I'm always embodied, right? Always an embodied being, but that perception of discontinuity, or the perception of your mind running, let's say, or looking more inwardly, looking more outward, that vacillates, right? If you're paying attention, I would, and also if you're keeping track of that, is that useful? Not necessarily. I mean, it's it depends what you're doing, probably. Right, the next thing, but I mean, attending to one's own experience of reality experience of being is, however you'd put that in your words, that's probably something you maybe want to put some time aside to do at some point in your life, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, might be something interesting, or not. Okay. All right. If you can't give 5 to 10 minutes of shutting the phone off or shutting the TV off, or if you don't even have time for that, fucking whatever has caused that situation, I mean, I don't know. It's hard not to, well, it's conditions, right? We're all a product of our conditions, and whether this is useful or interesting to someone else is a product of conditions. Okay, next thing. The illusion of the experience of parallelism. Now, that was a sort of a comment on the experience of being an observer in the world. Parallel to the next one, kind of tips the hand of this. The experience of being a subject and an object, or being a subject observing objects. Okay, because the next one shows the world is flat and vertical. That was just a comment about vision. Right? The world is flat and vertical. If you're just looking around, the world is flat and vertical. Now, is it flat in actuality? Well, the theory that it's not. Okay, this isn't a flat Earth theory. Okay, it's not that. It's a discussion of the visual field. If you're looking out, and these are panoramic, or whether you're focused and you go to panoramic view, and you focus on an object, panorama, it's vertical, and you're seeing light, and you're imputing dimensions. Now, there could be many more dimensions. This is just a comment about vision. Okay. Next one is things get spicy round about 7 p.m. Things get spicy round about 7 p.m. Evening, golden hour, right? I like to have a drink after about 7 p.m. And, I like to perform then. Daytime is like, present, getting shit done that you need to get done. Maybe taking some time out to, let the mind settle. If you have that kind of time, it's kind of nice. And certainly, I think it's, for me at least, it can give me energy for creative work. And well, actually, I'm getting to it. Next one, a merc who doesn't like work. I used to say that, a merc looking for work. Merc mentality. Not necessarily committed to any particular employer. It's good for the employer to know that. It's like, I'm not your fucking slave. I'm not your. I'm not emotionally invested in working for your company. Treat me like someone you have to pay for my time, especially if you're making money. Some people may not share that view. Certainly, if you're doing something you love, that's great. And getting paid for it is also great. And it would be great if the world cooperated with that. And if it doesn't lend itself to that kind of mentality, doesn't provide those kind of opportunities, well, then you're a merc. And I'm a merc who doesn't like work. Next one. Get to the point. Next one is Dross falling off time for fun. Dross falling off time for fun. Dross falling off time for fun. Dross falls off. Another good thing about meditation. Dross falls off. Often without any effort. At least that's been my experience. Or at least the effort that needs to arise arises. Okay? And the sort of inconsequential things, stuff like that, they fall off. Or not. All right, next one. Time to burn all my enemies. Okay, that was a bit, I don't actually have any enemies, but I like to say things like that. Okay, next thing. There was repost. I think I delete this. Everybody's first job was McDonald's. Prove me wrong. Mine was drug dealer. So I put DD to be elusive. DD. I just want to make clear it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons. I never played Dungeons and Dragons. But DD was a drug dealer when I was young. And pot wasn't legal at the time. So I sold weed in that. And stuff. United, I sold weed and stuff. All right, United Ummah. Show me a United Book Club. It's a little shot at the Muslims. It's like saying, I could say United Christianity. Show me a United Book Club. I could think of one, but, and then the other side says USA. So it's like, book clubs argue with one another. You say, well, they still read the same book. So did they read the same book? How do they behave as a result of the book they read? And so it's a bit of a shot. It's in jest, it's in fun. Don't take it personally. They know they disagree on things, and Christians certainly do. You can say, well, in essence, they agree. It's just not any particular facts that they agree. That may be the case. You can't think your way out of it. Now, if you're within a culture, if you're within a system, right? You can't think your way out of it because you're within that thinking web, that thinking net, like Indra's net, all reflecting one another. Is that true? I don't know, but it's well said. I think sorting through some older content. I was, and that provides content for people. Religions provide content in both its English meanings. And that's the thing I should say right now. I speak one language fluently, and it's the English language. That is the only language that I speak fluently, and I speak it fluently. Some people just speak English. And that's good. And then, that's good. Good for them. All right. All right, it doesn't take much to shift an algorithm. It doesn't, really. It's a nudge. And then there's a bunch of performances on spaces. And then there's a not worth debating. Okay. 3-worder. Next one, a bunch of footnotes. Okay, and there's a bunch of readings. And then that concludes it. A bunch of footnotes. I hope this was enjoyable. So, yeah, so that is Troll at Troll 475570, and the things that one of them I also talked over music. It might have been more pop music. I like doing this stuff too over classic rock. Having to speak over Mozart, my voice feels rough now, and I had to yell most of the time. So that's so far. I think it works pretty well. I can try to do it fast, though. I like to do these things fast, too. I have some pretty good ones that really work rhythmically. Okay, let's do it fast. I'm liking this Asahi. It has a bit of a banana flavor, which sometimes means that it's actually it's not a good thing. Although I like it. In some beers, it's a feature, in others it's considered a fault. That it's not as fresh. Would I switch from dry Asahi or would I switch to dry Asahi? No. I like my Sapporo. But it's a good beer. It is a good beer, and it was fresh. Like that's the thing I noticed with Sapporo is that it's like never flat. In the can. Sometimes I get like German beers, it's just flat. Yeah, and I don't really drink a lot of the more the popular brands here in North America. Though I do like a good Molson. All right, all right, let's go. There is nothing left to say. Few people worth proving myself to. It's the ones you let pass. Label your experience if you please. It will exhaust both of us. Nietzsche never learned to write what he saw. At least I developed a style. I don't think thinking gets done. The projection of an autonomous ego follows from the belief in one's own autonomous ego. Weird languages have developed on X. All of our conversations are private, pretty much up to no good. A great surge of energy occurring. Too petty, not poetic. I am a weapon of war. The grackles have descended. Stop talking. Look at your thoughts. Pacing. I am fucking sick of ads. Enjoying the sound of rain, and the lady next door won't stop talking loudly to her husband. There needs to be more strict bylaws about noise. I wonder why he went out to the garage in the first place. It is not worth explaining anymore. This is a path of meditation. Studied many philosophies I don't understand. It's not true. It's well said. Switching it up, resting in sound. I can't control interpretations. Faith? No idea what that is. Not joking around anymore. I don't think you have potential. Rare breed, I take things seriously. Show me your art before sharing your opinion. No more looking back. Just a bunch of competing spells. 'Tis a theory, an uncompelling theory. I'll publish when the stars align. Unfortunately, I've no memory for astrology. But their band lost their musician. Unadorned. Solidity is the prediction of a momentary experience, feeling every muscle as I move, the illusion of the experience of parallelism. The world is flat and vertical. Things get spicy around about 7 p.m. A merc who doesn't like work. Get to the point. Dross falling off time. For fun. Time to burn all my enemies. Dee. United Uma? Show me a United Book Club. You can't think your way out of it. Sorting through some older content. It doesn't take much to shift an algorithm. Clarification, labels, facts, update, spiritualism versus materialism. Not worth debating. Nietzsche, heretic, coffee chat, a bunch of footnotes. 488-962 facts. Talking over music.